September 14th, changes are coming to FHA. This video is going to outline some of the changes and how they are going to affect the lending and appraisal process. So what's the difference between an FHA and a conventional loan? FHA loans generally have a lower down payment requirement. The property must meet minimum property requirements in order to qualify for an FHA loan. Starting September 14th, the HUD Handbook 4150.2 and D-33 are being replaced by HUD Handbook 4000.1. The Appraisal Report and Data Delivery Guide are an extension of the HUD Handbook 4000.1 and provide specific details on how the appraisal report should be written and delivered to the client. FHA loans are an alternative to conventional financing with lower down payments, lower qualification requirements, and offering senior reverse mortgage options. The adoption of the HUD Handbook 4000.1 focuses primarily on the appraiser observing, analyzing, and reporting accurately the conditions that exist with the property at the time of the appraisal. FHA has minimum property requirements that primarily focus on health and safety of the property. FHA appraisals have always required an attic inspection. HUD Handbook 4000.1 has clarified that the attic inspection must include all visible sections of all attic areas, with at a minimum a head and shoulders inspection. If an attic inspection is not available, the appraiser must contact the lender and reschedule a time when the inspection can be made, or have a qualified third party make the attic inspection. Access must also be made available to the crawl space with a complete inspection made of all visible areas of the crawl space. The crawl space inspection is intended to make sure that there is adequate ventilation, that access is available to mechanical systems below the floor. Homes built prior to 1976 have the possibility of lead-based paint. Any flaking or peeling paint on a home built prior to 1976 must be scraped and repainted. This applies to all structures found on the property. Homes with wood-to-earth contact must be corrected so that there is an adequate space between the finished wood and the finished grade of the house to eliminate dry rot, termite infestation, and other deterioration. Homes must have positive drainage away from the home in order to prevent water from pooling or collecting along the base of the house. The appraiser is required to inspect all areas of the roof and report any damage or deterioration, and require that repairs be made or that a certification that the roof will have a remaining life of at least 3 years. The appraiser is required to inspect all electrical and plumbing systems and verify that there are no unsafe characteristics with these systems. All bedroom areas must have adequate secondary egress with a window height of no more than 44 inches from the finished floor. One of the new requirements outlined in the new HUD Handbook is that all appliances conveyed with the sale of the property are to be verified as being operational by the appraiser. Another change in the appraisal reporting process is that in addition to the subject's 3-year sale or transfer history, there is now a 3-year sale and transfer history for each of the comparable sales, with the requirement that each transaction be analyzed. There are a lot of common misconceptions about what is required by the appraiser for an FHA appraisal. One of those is the requirement of a site value. HUD does not require a site value as part of their appraisal protocol. However, if a site value is required by the lender, the site value must be supported as required by the scope of work on the 1004 appraisal report form. FHA does not require 2 active listings or pending sales unless the appraisal indicates that the property is in a changing market. Homes that do not meet the minimum property requirement and have conditions for repair also now require the appraiser to report the cost to cure. Appraisals where the home is under construction and is more than 90% complete require that the uncompleted items be specifically identified in the appraisal. Handbook requires the appraiser to summarize all 4 elements of highest and best use as required by USPAP Standard 2. Additional photograph requirements are required, including all rooms of the house, crawl space, attic areas, any areas of deferred maintenance, or improvements that make a contribution to value, in addition to common area amenities for homes in condo or PUD subdivisions. The appraiser must remember to update his HUD intended use statement to reflect the new handbook and specifically identify HUD as the only intended user of the appraisal. With the change in the appraisal requirements as outlined in HUD Handbook 4000.1, there is an expectation that the appraisal will take a little longer to perform and may likely result in increased appraisal costs for performing FHA appraisals. If you've found this video to be useful, feel free to like and provide any additional topics that you'd like to see addressed. Thanks very much.